Hi, I'm Sage from Addictive Wellness, and today I want to share with you guys my experience with the Wim Hof Method. So I first kind of got exposed to this indirectly via seeing the Vice Wim Hof Method Documentary showing up on the side column of YouTube for me as I was watching other videos on different things. And I kind of got a little bit of an idea of what this guy was up to, and it didn't sound fun to me at all. The idea of going out and having all these crazy cold experiences and climbing Mount Everest in just a pair of shorts and sandals didn't sound interesting at all. Sounded absolutely miserable. I didn't want to have anything to do with it. And so I didn't go any further than just scrolling by it. And then I heard several months later, and this was back in like mid-2015, I heard professional big wave surfer Laird Hamilton being interviewed by Tim Ferriss. And Laird was talking about how the Wim Hof method had been so powerful in helping him to reach his real higher levels of human potential. So as a lifelong surfer myself, anything that I hear Laird Hamilton is really into doing as part of his training is automatically going to start being really interesting to me. So I started pulling together some more information. I started reading more about it online, looking through all the FAQs, listening to as many interviews with Wim Hof as I could, and the more I kind of picked up about it, the more interested I got. I was kind of collecting all this information to try to figure out if I wanted to throw a couple $100 into the 10-week course that they offer online, which is so cool. You don't have to necessarily just do a weekend with him or something like that. Those are options, but you can do this 10-week online course, which to me is really cool because it allows you to ease your way into it and really get lots of information and go much deeper into it than you would be able to do in just like a weekend retreat, and it's a lot more affordable than doing something like that. So I, at this time, was going to be going to Calgary to visit AnnaBlanca's family in a couple months. Now, by the time I had kind of gone around collecting all this information and figuring out if this was going to be something worthwhile, it was October. And for Christmas, we were going to go visit AnnaBlanca's family in Calgary, where it is super, super cold. Just unbelievably freezing. And the last thing I wanted was to go there and be the cold wussy out of the whole group. I'm a surfer, so I'm used to surfing in the wintertime in California, but I'm always wearing a wetsuit, and even then, I'm usually one of the first people in the water getting cold. I've never been one to enjoy the cold. I go snowboarding, but I dress up in all the warm clothes, and when I'm surfing, I'm in a wetsuit, and I'm still freezing my ass off. So the cold has been something I endure because I really enjoy those activities, but it's never something that I enjoy for the cold. I had never gone out in pursuit of cold purely for cold's sake. So this was a whole new world for me. But if there was something that could help me have more energy, have better immunity, less stress, and be able to last longer in cold water and out in cold nature, that was interesting to me. So I went for it and signed up for the 10-week online course and got started. So there's really three components to the Wim Hof method. There's first the breathing, then physical exercises, which is very similar to basic introductory yoga to kind of get you more limbered up in your body and more in touch with different aspects of your body that you may not be really in touch with, and then the cold exposure. So you first start out with the breathing, and it's a specific breathing method designed to really super oxygenate your body, because when your cells have more oxygen, they can produce more ATP. ATP is like pure cellular energy. When you have more ATP, your human potential, what your cells can do, how you can heal, how your immune system can function, the energy you have for going out and doing physical activities or for focusing is so much more. It just makes you overall way more resilient when you have more ATP. So, and one thing, I just want to caution everybody. I'll talk a little bit about this breathing method, but never do this breathing method when you're in water or when you're going to be going into water shortly thereafter. It's very intense, and it can overwhelm you a little bit when you're getting used to it, and you can actually faint. You can pass out. It's not a dangerous thing to pass out as long as you're in a safe place to do that, like lying down on the ground. You pass out, you wake back up, 5-10 seconds later, no big deal. You faint when you're in the water and there's nobody around, that's the end of your life. Drowning is not good for longevity and anti-aging, okay? Please remember that. And you don't want to even do it standing up, because if I pass out standing up, I could fall over and land flat on my face and break my nose. Also, not really what we're going for. So do this safely, do it in a controlled, safe environment, lying down on the floor or sitting somewhere where your back is supported. We don't want to have any injuries in pursuit of our ultimate human potential. So you start out with this breathing, and it's a very strong inhale and then a gentle exhale. And you repeat that over and over and over, and you do that 40 times. And then you exhale, and you hold on the exhale. And so what's happened is you've really oxygenated your entire body, and now you've blown it all out, and you still have oxygen in your blood, but you've blown out everything in your lungs, and you hold on that exhale. And now you're essentially putting your body into the reverse situation, where it's thinking, oh man, there's not a lot of air available. We better get really smart about efficiently using the oxygen that we have available. So you're training your body to more efficiently use the oxygen. And because you've oxygenated your body so much already, you can last so long on this exhale. No air in the lungs. You'll go way longer than you ever thought possible. And then after you're ready to breathe, and you're not pushing yourself super hard, just listen to your body, figure out when you're ready to breathe, then you do a real strong inhalation again and hold it for 10 seconds. Now you're letting the oxygen flood back into your body. And you do several rounds of this. Now I'm just giving you a quick overview. I would not even recommend experimenting with this, just based on what I'm giving you. Check out the course, check out some of Wim's videos to go more in depth into the details and the techniques. I'm just giving you a little taste of how it works. And you do several rounds of this, and you just feel so charged up by the end. Now in the beginning, your body doesn't know what's going on with all this oxygen. So you can get some tingling in your hands and feet, and you just like really get out of your body, and it's a trippy experience. But after a while, after doing this for a few weeks, you don't get those physical symptoms anymore. But it turns into an extraordinary mental experience, and it's almost visual. Like you close your eyes and you see this whole fireworks show going off. It's incredible. And so as far as the exercises, it's pretty basic yoga type exercises, and incorporating the breathing into those in a special way that allows you to go deeper into stretches and into different postures. Won't get so much into that. It's pretty simple, but definitely a really interesting part of the course. But what's really the fascinating part is when you go into the cold. So you don't start off just going right into an ice bath or going into the cold ocean right at the beginning. The idea is you work into this gently in a way that's sustainable and is not going to overwhelm your nervous system. So you first start out doing just 30 seconds of cold showers. And you do a hot shower, enjoy it, and then at the end you do 30 seconds of cold. You do that for the first week. After that, you do 30 seconds cold at the beginning, hot shower, 30 seconds cold at the end. And you work your way up. Eventually, by the end, you're doing ice baths and you're loving it, but you're not overwhelming your nervous system at any point. It's like you wouldn't go into a gym and suddenly try to lift 400 pounds. You work your way up to things gently. Your nervous system, it's like a muscle, and it has to adapt and build up its strength and resilience. And the way that this works in the nervous system is so fascinating to me, because when you are able to tap into your nervous system in the way that this method allows you to, so much more is possible. You can control your stress better, you can regulate your temperature. It just allows you a whole new level of control of your body. And to me, I'm always looking for ways to tap potential of what's out there that our mind and body and spirit is able to do, but we may not have known about or been exposed to. So this is a really fun part of it for me. And so I kept working my way up, and by the end was doing these cold ice baths, and it was amazing. I would just start, you're real cold when you go in, but you try to control your breath, and that's one of the keys when you go into the cold. If you can control your breath, you can control a lot of other things. The idea is that your breath is kind of the crossover point between things that happen controlled by your subconscious and just what's going on automatically in your body, like circulation or heat production or digestion. Those things happen on their own. It's conventionally understood, or immune function, it's conventionally understood that you can't consciously regulate those. On the other hand, there's things that you do regulate, like moving your arms around. Now the breath is kind of the crossover point, because your breath will go automatically when you're sleeping or when you're not thinking about it, but you can also control it. And so it's an interesting crossover point, and you can harness the breath to start to actually be able to control some things on the other side that conventionally science has told us you can't control, but now science books are actually having to be rewritten because of the kind of things that Wim Hof is showing in the laboratories and in scientific studies. So it's exciting times. And then finally, we went to Calgary, and this is so exciting for me. I had no idea what it was going to be like, because it's one thing to do cold exposure in the comfort of your own home. And I'd even gone and done it in the ocean, but even there, you can get right back into the car afterwards, and I would go surfing for like an hour and a half in a wetsuit, and then for the last half hour, I would take off my wetsuit and go out and just surf in board shorts in the middle of winter, and people were tripping out. They couldn't believe it. And the only thing is you have to really stay concentrated when you're in the cold to focus on maintaining your heat production. And everybody kept wanting to talk to me like, what are you doing? How are you doing this? And I didn't want to be rude, so I kept getting drawn into these conversations. And as soon as I would start losing my focus and start talking to people, the cold would start to work its way in. So it would last usually about 25, 30 minutes, and then I would go in and have to warm up. But it was amazing to see that I was capable of doing that, whereas I would have never thought about going in the ocean in the middle of winter without a wetsuit here in California. It's not as cold as you would get further north, but it's still, Fahrenheit-wise, it gets into like the mid-50s, which is it's seriously cold to be without a wetsuit. And so I'd done that, but I didn't know what it would be like when you're out in the snow in these freezing rivers. It was just going to be a whole new experience going into really wild, serious winter, not, the California winter, serious winter of cold nature. So the first day we were there, I knew I had to tackle it right away. I didn't want to hold back. I didn't want to start getting nervous about it. So went down to the river. It's about maybe 15, 20 minutes walk from their house. And I went in and it was, whoa, it was cold. Like you start feeling just like grab a hold, the cold like grabs a hold of your feet and your ankles as soon as you're going in. It's almost like somebody's in the water and grabbing onto you. But I controlled my breath, stayed calm as I learned how to throughout the whole experience of the training, and went in slowly, just gently breathing, staying calm, and I stayed in, and it was magical. I mean, just the whole surroundings were picture perfect, and it was so cold that day. The water itself was 32 degrees, so exactly at freezing. It's moving, so it doesn't quite freeze at that temperature. It has to get a little lower to start to freeze, but there was like ice chunks floating by me. It was unbelievable. And I got out of the water, and I was real cold. And the hardest part was my feet on the ice and on the snow were freezing. And that's one of the hardest things. The staying warm in water is not that bad, but keeping your feet, when you have bare feet, directly on snow or directly on ice, that really sucks the heat out of your feet. So I was I started to freak out a little bit, and I was having a hard time getting changed back into my clothes, and I forgot to put my pants on before putting my shoes on because I just wanted to get shoes on my feet, and then I couldn't put my pants on over my shoes, and so I had to run uphill back to the house, pretty good run in the wet shorts, and they were like freezing to my body as I was going and pulling on me, and it was uncomfortable, but it was a wild experience. And of course I kept going in for the rest of the trip there. And the Canadians were freaking out. One time there was a bunch of them standing around and they wanted to take a picture with me after I got out of the water, and they were saying, wow, we should give him honorary Canadian citizenship for doing this. And hey, if that offer's still out there, guys, I'll take you up on it. So the Wim Hof method, I 100% would recommend giving it a try. It totally allows you to tap in to potential that your body has that you would never have thought you would be able to do. It's just taking everything that's going on in your body and allowing it to operate at a higher level in a very basic way, because you have more ATP and you are accessing controls of your nervous system through this breathing in a way that nobody before, a couple of years ago has ever really gotten to experience. So I hope you guys give it a try. If anyone's tried it, I'd love to hear what you guys have thought and what your experience has been. Leave a comment down below and share this video with your friends if you think they might be interested in learning more about the Wim Hof method and how it works and what the whole experience is like. Thanks so much for joining us, guys. I hope to see you again soon.